Jonathan, tell us about Serena Software, a little bit about its history and what its products are doing.
Okay, so Serena Software has been in the release management space for over 30 years. It's uniquely positioned to handle release management on both mainframe and distributed systems, and we focused on both business process management and automation. We specialize in application release automation and release control. And because the current trends in the industry are about not just pushing bits out to servers, but also controlling how things flow from system to system.
For readers who aren't aware, what is release management and how does that work?
Okay, so release management is being able to track how requirements essentially get from an initial business request all the way out to production to meet customers' needs. Because in the end, every line of code that's written is essentially should be solving a business need. So it's more than just pushing bits to a server. It's about knowing, what is ready, when, what the impact of the change is, and how you push it through all the different intermediate systems, from dev to systems integration testing to user integration testing, finally into production, and all the different stages in between.
And how does this work with other automation products like Chef or Puppet?
Okay, so how Serena Release Automation actually works with that, I see with the current trends, cloud is very important basically, because Agile has made it possible to put many more releases through an organization compared to before. Before you would get maybe 1-2 releases per year. Now you got potentially releases coming out of every iteration. A lot of companies are not doing that, but the capability is there. Regardless, people are usually not releasing once or twice a year anymore. Obviously, there's always going to be companies that need to do that, but for the most part, it needs to be more agile than that. So we see cloud as a big part of that, and essentially what would happen is that the release control aspect, which handles the release management layer, would make a call out at the right time once a deployment to an environment has been approved, make a call out to our release automation tool, which would then call one of our virtualization providers, so OpenStack, Amazon, VMware, and actually provision resources. And then we make a call out to something like Puppet or Chef, which would do the operating system and security configurations before finally release automation kicks in again and deploys applications using model-driven application deployment.
So you're talking about automation that helps with management and control and also visibility so that you can see what releases at what levels are deployed and where?
Yes, absolutely. And so one of the big buzzwords is right now DevOps, and there's four key points to that, which is talked about by Damon Edwards and John Willis as CAMS: culture, automation, measurement, and sharing. Well, obviously Serena is very sensitive to the cultural side of things, and we want our customers to be successful. The Serena Release Automation obviously does the automation piece. The release control also facilitates that part, because automation does not mean having a lack of control. The measurement is about actually understanding your KPIs. How do you know that you're being successful in adding value to the business? So you define that, and we provide visibility into the KPIs that you're having and able to tie into different systems altogether that information. And finally, it's the sharing. Previously what's happened is dev has been pushing out changes, and they've gone through dev, various QA stages, with some kind of manual document quite often, or partially a manual document, partially scripts, and it's just dumped on operations at the end. And so the flow of information has definitely been from left to right, if you were to map out a pipeline. Whereas now the sharing part of it is to introduce shorter feedback loops. Just like in Agile all the time, you have the feedback constantly after every sprint, after every iteration. Now, at every time as you push your release through an actual stage, whether it's from dev to QA to production, you have that opportunity for feedback. So you're able to correct course very quickly. Because the sooner you catch a problem, the less expensive it is to fix it.
Thank you. How can people find out more about Serena Software?
You can go to serena.com/DevOps, and you'll see our Enterprise DevOps resource page. You'll find blog posts, our information about our DevOps solutions, and other useful resources.
Thank you.